Hello everyone, this is Dr. N.Senthil Madasamy, Associate Professor Computer Science Engineering. Great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this session. In this session, topic to be covered is Computer Forensics Laboratories Requirements. At the end of Unit 3, the students will be able to explain the process of acquiring and documenting computer forensics evidence for the investigation. At the end of this session, the students will be able to understand the computer forensics laboratories requirements. Now we will see about computer forensics laboratory requirements. Computer forensics labs vary greatly from region to region, but there are certain standards and requirements that every lab must contain. Here we will know about the basic layout, equipment and standards that a legitimate computer forensics lab must adhere to. Next, we will see about computer forensics laboratory layout, laboratory management and laboratory access one by one. The layout of computer forensics lab will be determined by your investigative needs, the number of staff who will be involved in investigations and the resources that you have available. The diagram shows a relatively small computer forensics laboratory. The workstation forensics lab are used for investigators to acquire evidence in the form of read-only image files. With the proliferation of Apple Macintosh machines, it is now more commonplace to find Macintosh workstations. All workstations should be password protected and should ideally use the biometric authentication to gain access. All case files should be the password protected. The workbench is used to prepare hardware devices for investigative analysis. When cloning a device, the computer is open to remove the hard drive. On the area where the hard drives will be cloned, there should be a rubber mat to ensure that no static electricity from a metal surface will interfere with suspect drives. If an Apple iMac needs to be opened to retrieve the hard drive, a lot of space is required to ensure that the screen is dismantled safely, that is without damage. As with all electronic evidence, the area needs to be well not only to work safely with the evidence, but also photography of all evidence. A evidence locker is a metal cabinet with individual compartments that can be blocked individually. These cabinets are often made of the steel with tamper-resistant padlocks. A high-end door lock like a simplex lock should be used with other physical security measures. There are various hardware devices such as 8-inch SIF hard drive adapter, Ultra Block Firewire 800 USB 2.0 SCSI bridge write blocker, Ultra Block SATA IDE write blocker, Ultra Block USB write blocker, SIM card reader, Ultra Block forensics card reader, powered hard drive, and computer toolkit in computer forensics lab. An effective method for budgeting in a computer forensics laboratory is to keep the many notes about each criminal investigation. The primary points to document are as follows. Crime category, example identity theft, child pornography or murder. Investigative hours, that is crime scene investigation, lab hours and report writing. Resources utilized, that is software to retrieve the evidence and hardware used to store the evidence. Example, harvest drives and server space. Suspect devices, which detail the type of devices seized and examined. This is necessary to justify forensic software and hardware purchases and maintenance fees. Under laboratory management, The American Society of Crime Laboratory Directors Laboratory Accreditation Board (ACLD) Lab provides extensive guidelines on best practices for managing a forensics laboratory. Many people view the ACLD lab certification as the ultimate approval of forensics laboratory. Most laboratories will never be ACLD lab certified, but many labs still adhere to the principles outlined by ACLD lab. Some forensics laboratory managers believe that attaining this certification will benefit their standing in the courtroom as experts who follow proper protocols. Thus, it is important to outline some of these guiding principles. In laboratory access, restricting access to a computer forensics laboratory is extremely important and should be part of your physical security plan. Ideally, only those who handle evidence and manage a laboratory should have access to the room or building where your equipment and evidence are held. Access to a laboratory can be controlled using the following methods: picture identification card, biometric authentication, security guard, closed circuit television (CCTV), and keypad with access code. To prevent unauthorized access, other precautions should be put in place. The laboratory manager can perform a background check with the assistance of Human Resources Department to make sure that employees have nothing in their background, such as criminal record, and that would preclude employment in the laboratory. Naturally, the laboratory manager should also undergo a background before the employees are assigned to the laboratory. Unfortunately, many employers don't continue to monitor the activities of their laboratory employees after they are hired. The summary we learned about computer forensics laboratory recommends such as laboratory layout, laboratory management, and laboratory access. I mentioned refer. I hope you found this video is clear about the topic I lecture. Thank you and have a pleasant day.